Hey guys, I'm an OK Gamer Girl, and welcome to Game Compactor, where we play through a game, look at the story, the gameplay and other things, then squish it down into just the interesting bits. Developed by Compulsion Games and published by Focus Home Interactive, Contrast was released on PC, PS4 and Xbox 360 back in 2013, and Xbox One in 2014. It's set in a film noir, Art Nouveau kind of town. Add a little Tim Burton style and vaudeville, and Contrast has great style and art direction. It begins with our character surprising a little girl in her room, though we seem to already know one another. This is Didi, and she panics when her mother enters the room, thinking we'll be seen. Strangely, only a shadow enters the room and doesn't seem to be able to see us.
I don't think she can see you.
Now promise me you'll be a good girl while I'm out singing.
I promise.
No sneaking out this time. I'll get in trouble.
I promise.
That's my good
This is
girl.
an interesting introduction to the world, raising questions of how we exist, and how can Didi see us and her mother, but we can only see shadows.
Someday when he's ready.
We learn Didi's mum,
worry.
Kat,
Mommy
is going
always
off to
comes
work
back.
at night,
I'll be
and
home
her
before
dad
you
isn't
leave.
around at the moment.
Get some nice sleep.
Okay, she's gone. She's gonna sing at the Ghost Note tonight. It's the most beautiful cabaret.
As soon as her mum leaves the room, Didi jumps up and gushes to us about the cabaret her mum sings in, and how we're going to sneak out and go watch. We're given a task of joining Didi on her adventure, and we jump out the window behind her. This introduces us to the game mechanic of shifting in and out of the shadow world, and using shadows as physical objects we can use and jump on. Immediately, this will draw players back to the game Limbo, if they were familiar with it, which was released 3 years prior to Contrast. While Limbo remains in this shadowy world, using side-scrolling and silhouettes as the core part of their game, Contrast enables us to switch between the shadow world and the real world at any point. At first, this can seem scary, as we don't want to accidentally fall out the shadow world and fall onto the very real ground. We have some control of when we shift in and out of the shadows.
I think that goes all the way through to the other street. If I move this cart, you could walk up its shadow. Couldn't you?
Didi helps us get up to a window by moving things around to create shadows. She knows how all this works better than we do.
See you at the Ghost Note.
She tells us to meet her at the Ghost Note, where her mum is singing. While in the world, if there's a bright light casting a shadow on a wall nearby, this is no coincidence. It usually leads to luminaries, which are collectibles in each stage, but also are used to power up certain items. There are some collectible pieces of information scattered around the world, such as Didi's drawing of her family, Kat's cabaret posters, and others which help give us more information on the story and the people we're following. Back to meeting up with Didi. The streets are very empty and dark, which either makes or breaks the atmosphere. I saw a review that said the world was lifeless, which I agree with to an extent, as we're meant to feel isolated and alone on this side of the world, not seeing anything but shadows. On the other hand, seeing more random shadows walking around or having a drink at the bar would have cemented that feeling of a world living outside our perception, though may have pushed it into being more of a horror game. Entering the Ghost Note, it's completely empty, but you can feel the atmosphere of people watching the cabaret. We have to sort out the spotlights, which seems like a weird job for a random person to have to take care of.
Want to put on some lights? I promise you'll like the view. Come on, sugar. Help a girl out here. We can't play in the dark.
Aiming the bottom two lights, we see the silhouettes of the drummer and saxophonist. third light is on the fritz, so we use the shadows to get to the balcony and fix it.
Hey, Sparky, could you do something about that one too? It's really messing with our rhythm.
Then we aim it at the pianist, and Kat bursts into song. She spies a man waiting for her in the wings and goes off stage to talk to him. Turns out this is Didi's dad, Johnny, and he's trying to make things right with Kat. We listen to their conversation.
That's Dad.
What are you doing here?
You're singing good tonight, Ken.
Don't smooth talk me, Johnny. We had an agreement.
Is that what you call it? I never wanted to leave. You kicked me out.
You want money from me, Johnny? Because I'm ducking the landlord.
I don't need a handout, babe. Look at this suit.
You working another one of your famous deals?
This one's big, Kat.
Oh, sure it is. Till it blows up like last time and the time before
Not
that.
this time, babe. I'm gonna make it all up to you.
I gotta get back on stage.
Then meet me after. I'm staying at the Excelsior.
But you think you're just gonna jitterbug your way back into our lives with a lot of sweet talk?
It's gonna be better this time, babe. You're gonna see how much better it can be. Room 529, kiddo.
Where is he going? I need to talk to him.
Then follow Didi as she tries to catch up with her dad to talk to him. We find him in another bar talking with a man named Vincenzo, who's a magician.
Come on, Vincenzo. It's just some film footage of your act. Why can't you let me borrow it just overnight?
Because it is my new act and it's top secret, which is why my agent has it safely locked in his office upstairs.
Johnny is trying to get film footage of the magic act so he can show some gangsters proof of having the magician be part of the circus, which Johnny is organizing. A new mechanic is introduced where we have to move a light-emitting item in order to control the shadows created. Once we get them in the right place, we can use them to get to the upper floor and the manager's office to grab the film. Didi wants our help to get it to Johnny so he's not in trouble with the gangsters.
I think he's going to the cinema to meet his friends. Oh no!
For some reason, the road to the cinema has crumbled away,
If we could get this
and the only way to get to it is jumping over some broken billboards. For us, we can leap through shadows, but how anyone else has been able to get across is a mystery.
It's too far. Can you help me, please?
We collapse the billboards so Didi can get across, and we go to the cinema.
Thank goodness, it was such a big jump. Maybe you could find another way in.
Another puzzle where we manipulate the environment to get the shadows just right, but we're moving celebrity standees instead of the light source. Didi has caught up to her dad and is talking to him, hoping he can come home.
Mommy really kick you out.
Were you spying on us at the cabaret?
Are you coming home?
Well, that's my plan. I've got to convince your mother.
Johnny tries to reassure his daughter, but ushers her off quickly so the gangsters he's meeting don't see her.
I got a couple of investors coming here, and they don't like kids much. I need you to run home by yourself, okay?
But I brought you...
Didi, you have to get out of here. I won't tell Mom you snuck.
So that's why you brought us here, huh? You're gonna show us his act?
Yeah, except the projector's broken.
Because if you don't got him, your circus is gonna flop and you're not gonna be able to pay us back. And then I'm gonna have to break your arms, and then we see how well you swim.
Look,
They get mouthy and start beating Johnny up, so we quickly try to find a way to put the film on the screen. There are a few time-sensitive actions and achievements in this game, such as letting the gangsters beat up Johnny. If we moved faster, then I suppose his finger would still be in one piece.
Oh! Hey, knock it off, Sal. Check this out. Jeez, he is amazing.
I told you I got him.
Okay, let's
They
go
make
get the
up
money.
and leave the cinema.
Look, why don't I swing by tomorrow, pick it up?
Relax. Let's go have a drink, huh?
There's a bright light shining on tables and umbrellas outside. What have we learned about bright lights outside? This is a timed puzzle, so we have to open the umbrellas and jump on them at the right time to grab a luminary. There are also random items floating around with sparkles. These play a shadow cutscene of something we've already experienced, such as cats singing. These are also timed, and using these shadows we can grab more luminaries. I do like the creativity of using the shadows and cutscenes in this way, plus jumping on people's heads and bodies does look funny. It's better than just jumping on platforms like any other game would have you do.
She was getting pretty loud in there. See? You meet a guy's wife, now he's got a whole new reason to make good.
Johnny has taken the gangsters to the Excelsior. We have to try and get to the 5th floor suites using 2 lifts and the shadows we can make.
I can't get in. The door's locked. I need your help.
We also learn to grab a ledge and pull ourselves up. This was a little confusing at first, but once I knew where I was going, I could change the lighting to get me to the right places.
Maybe you could sneak in through a window or something, and then you could let me in.
Didi tells us to sneak in through a window and unlock the door for her.
Why'd you have to come back, Johnny?
I want to come home, Cat.
And you got another
This is
pot of
another
gold in
time-sensitive
the rainbow?
moment in the game, which I messed up the first
Yeah?
time,
You get
as I was
what
listening to the conversation the giant shadows were having and thought it was important.
Give you another reason to kick me out, I swear.
No, Johnny. Not again. You're a carousel of broken dreams. You keep coming around and around.
Turns out it is important, but we need Didi to be part of
Try and
it.
kiss me, Johnny. I'll lose my mind.
You gonna shoot me? Go ahead and shoot. I got 2 holes in me where you and Didi used to be. Put another one in there, finish me off. Jesus, Cat, what are you doing? Oh, well, that hurts.
No, don't die, Johnny.
Take care of Didi, okay? Tell her that I love her.
Please
No.
don't leave me.
Tell her whatever she needs to hear. You don't believe a word you're saying. I know, because I can read your mind like a highway sign.
No, Johnny. Not again. Get back! Don't try and kiss me, Johnny. I'll lose my mind.
You gonna shoot me? Go ahead and shoot. I got 2 holes in me where you and Didi used to be. Put another one in there, finish me off.
What do you want with Didi? You're not even her real father.
What, you think Vincenzo's real? All he ever gave Didi was her cute little nose. Yeah, maybe I'm not her real father, but I'm the one that showed her how to tie her shoes. I'm the one that put her to bed when you had to stay out late. You took her to see his show. Did he change his mind? He doesn't want to be her father. He doesn't want to be anybody's.
I hate you.
Jesus, Cat, what are you doing?
Mommy, stop! What are you doing?
Nothing. Mommy and Daddy were having a little fight. It's not a real gun. It's just a toy.
Yeah, it's just a toy, Didi.
Mommy, are you gonna let Dad come home?
Didi.
Please? please let Daddy come home?
He's in pretty deep with some bad people, Didi. Maybe he should make good with them first. Right, Johnny?
Maybe I'm no good without my family. Maybe I need my family to make good.
Johnny.
Yeah! Daddy needs us!
If this is another train wreck, it's not just gonna be you and the train this time.
I'm not gonna let it wreck this time. I promise.
I've missed you so much.
Yay! Daddy's coming home! But he's not my real daddy, is he?
We find out that Johnny isn't her real dad, but honestly that's not really a thing if he's been there her whole life taking care of her.
It's you! Where have you been? Did you know the circus is in town? It's Daddy's circus. He says it's gonna be the biggest thing ever!
Back at home, it seems we've been away for a while, as Didi points out. She's excited about her dad's circus, but knows he has a habit of overselling things. She wants to go talk to Vincenzo now she knows he's her real dad. We leave and run to the circus where Vincenzo and Johnny are talking. Turns out Johnny was overselling things a little bit.
Your puppet show about the princess is missing the princess. You've lost your hot air balloon, and where did you get that pirate ship? It is a broken down piece of junk.
Come on, Vincenzo, it's opening day.
Seems like a list of things we can help with, right? So off we go to fix things.
All right.
On our way, a strongman's shadow is cast on a wall. So must be a luminary puzzle. We get to the pirate ship and are shown how to shift items into shadows when we hold them. We can't jump while holding items, so it adds a little extra to the future puzzles.
Captain on the deck! Avast there, first mate! Anchors away! Let's heave ho! And hoist the mainsail!
We need to keep the doors open by placing boxes on the switches. The first is in plain view, so we know what has to be done. The next box is on a ledge, so we enter the room with the ship wheel and give it a turn. The wheel is timed, but does do a few rotations before it stops. We grab the box and shift into the wheel room, where we can then place it on the switch. The third box completely confused me as I couldn't find it anywhere in the room. So I decided to backtrack and realised the box I had used earlier was meant for this puzzle too. It took me longer than I want to admit. Opening the doors, we jump into a tiny ship which takes us on a roller coaster. Is it me, or is this pirate ship super impressive on the inside and massive?
Down she blows! Watch the main brace! Isn't it supposed to attack us or something?
We need to get the giant squid tentacle off the tracks now. Oh, Johnny, why is everything so broken? We find a mechanical arm that loads a cannonball into a track, which then fires randomly.
You may fire when you are ready, Ridley!
The first time we do this, a wall is broken and we have to go get the cannonball to try again. twist here is that the arm won't reach the ball the second time round, so we have to place it somewhere higher. What's around here that's a little higher? That's right, we shift the ball into the shadows and the arm can grab it and launch it. The tentacle is moved and we can carry on with our ride.
Oh no! Wait, it's a whirlpool! He's sucking us down! We're sinking! We're doomed! It's Davy Jones blocking for us!
The final part of the ride requires the squid to be shot by a cannon, but again it doesn't work. So off we go to find the cannon and the cannonball. As I mentioned earlier, we can't jump while holding items, so we have to place the ball in the shadows, adjust the lighting in order to lift the ball up. Now we can fire the cannon and defeat the giant squid.
Take that! Bam! Say goodnight, Gracie! Uh-oh. We didn't break anything, did we? Maybe we can get out that way. Are you ready?
With all that hard work done, we enter the control room and restart the generator. One down, two to go.
Hey, has anyone seen the princess puppet?
We find the shadow puppet show and see that the role of the princess needs filling. Who else could be a shadow puppet princess?
Darn. Where did I put her?
We grab the hat from the chest and shift into the scene.
Ah, there she is. Once upon a time, there was a princess who lived in a castle with her father, the king. So only one knight showed up. His name was Fred, and he fell immediately in love with the princess. Fred was a brave knight, and he marched off the next morning, singing a brave song as loudly as he could.
This is where the similarities to Limbo really stand out, as it's all based in the shadow world and everything is a silhouette.
What happened to her future husband? So she set off into the forest to look for him. The princess tracked Fred's footprints through a strange...
When I fell into the pit, I burst out laughing at the narration and the tone of his voice.
Unfortunately, she impaled herself on the bamboo. Wait, that's not what happened.
We have to rescue the prince 3 times. First from an ogre, then a spider,
Spider.
Finally, she found Fred. He was all wrapped up like a present for the giant spider's girlfriend.
then a dragon.
Finally, burning away the ropes that were tying up Fred. And so the princess and Fred lived happily ever after.
This part felt like it took a long time compared to the pirate ship, but it might just be because it was one long shadow scene rather than shifting between worlds.
Fred moaning. But maybe it was only the wind.
Yay! Yay, Dawn, you did it!
Last job to do. The hot air balloon is caught up on the rooftop.
So they can't pull it down, but nobody can get up there to entangle it.
So who better to get it down? This puzzle took me a little while as there are so many moving parts. The carousel horses move, so we have to time it before we shift. I love when Didi offers to make a shadow ledge for us so we can get over a large gap.
Okay up there. You need any help? Here, jump on this.
The beacon needs to be lit on top, which gives us a different set of shadows to use. And again, timing our shifts has to be precise. Then we get to the last part, where we run along balconies and bunting to finally reach the roof. Untangling the hot air balloon, Didi's excitement is contagious.
You did it. Okay, hop in.
Maybe now, Johnny's circus will be a success.
That was amazing. I wish I could do that. Would you teach me someday?
Vincenzo and Johnny have a little talk and the severity of Johnny's situation comes to light. No pun intended.
Why are you organizing this circus? I know who your investors are.
I promised my wife and daughter I'd clean up my act.
But if I don't pull in the crowds for you, those boys are gonna put you in the river.
Without Cat and Didi, I wouldn't care much if they did.
Ah.
So those crowds better come.
I didn't talk to him. I didn't talk to Vincenzo.
Didi sees Vincenzo leave and immediately runs after him, wanting desperately to talk to him.
Vincenzo's going to a secret workshop. I can finally talk to him all alone. But where is it?
On our way to Vincenzo's workshop, another luminary puzzle is lurking down an alley.
People, Didi. Maybe he should make good with them first. Right, Johnny?
Maybe I'm no good without my family. Maybe I need my family to make good.
Johnny.
We meet up with Didi and are faced with a huge clockwork planetary model.
Oh no, we just missed him. This is a big mechanism. I hope you brought some luminaries with you.
We can adjust the rotation of the model to get up to the balcony. Which leads to a room with a mechanical band that uses balls to strike instruments. So we need a ball, and we need to get it up to the balcony. No jumping allowed. After sorting out the ball for the bells, we can use the moving shadows to get up to another room with a balcony. And a button to reset the solar machine. Who puts the reset button in a place like this? After moving the lights around and getting our timing right, we reset the machine and open the clock face that leads to Vincenzo's workshop. This exchange is heartbreaking. After everything Didi has been through,
The big clock?
Vincenzo isn't the best at talking to children and is very cold and defensive.
It's a puzzle, right?
It's meant to keep strangers out.
It's a very good puzzle.
Not good enough, apparently.
But I'm not a stranger. I'm Didi. Didi Malankaya.
Oh.
Your mother put you up to this, didn't she?
He thinks I'm doing my homework. I wanted to meet you.
I didn't ask for a child, all right?
You didn't want a child?
What would I do with one? I'm a busy man. My apparatuses are precise. They take months to hone. How would I have the time? That is what I told her.
I'm sorry.
I travel. I'm going on tour for 6 months. Budapest, Istanbul, Calcutta, Shanghai. I dine out with dukes and gangsters.
But I could help you with your apparatuses. I'm good with puzzles. You could train me. I won't be any trouble.
You broke my left-handed induction coil. That took me a week to tune.
I'm sorry.
I told your mother all of this years ago. What is her phone number? Okay, see? This is what I'm talking about. This is what I can't have. Your mother cried every week. You're better off with Kat. A little girl should be with her mother.
Okay.
All right. Do you want to come to see my show?
No!
At least he cares enough to call Kat and Johnny to come pick Didi up and get her back safely.
Let's get Kat on the phone,
At last, the magic show is about to start. Even though we're left with a sour taste in our mouths from Vincenzo's last appearance, we still want the show to go well for Didi and her family. Then, boom, the lights go out. Because of course they do.
I knew it! I knew this was another one of Johnny's pipe dreams. You screwed up again, didn't you?
Didi has one last great idea, saying we should get the lighthouse working and point it at the stage.
This is a weird lighthouse. Do you think it's some kind of science lab? It reminds me of Vincenzo's workshop.
This lighthouse is trippy in many senses of the word. This time we're combining all the skills we've learned and trying to move boxes by shifting them into shadows, then using a spotlight to move the shadow around. Very clever. Pointing the spotlight at a beacon powers up other lights, which we can find by following the glowing cable. Once we lower the stairs and make it further up the lighthouse, we pick up interesting little pieces of information. Shadow experiments, newspaper clippings of a magician's assistant missing, a huge family tree of the Iliescu family with a question mark by Didi's name, pictures depicting the shadow dimension, and a show poster of Vincenzo and Dawn at an expo in 1900. Wait, Vincenzo and Dawn? Us? Dawn? We were Vincenzo's assistant, and we were the one who went missing in the newspaper clipping? Suddenly we realize Vincenzo has something to do with us being able to shift between worlds, and that maybe Didi sees us because of something genetic? It's a huge info dump, and working it all out could take some time. But we can't stand around thinking just yet. We have to help Johnny light the stage. On to the top of the lighthouse. More moving boxes and spotlights, this time across gaps and rotating walls. We put the box on the switch and do a little jumping to get higher. On our way up are little scenes from the story that recap the sentimental points, as well as help us jump on them to reach other platforms.
Princess got to wondering.
Why our dad kept trying to give her away?
You think you're gonna jitterbug your way back into our lives with a lot of sweet talk.
That's the past.
honest, Cat. I've changed.
How can I believe you, Johnny? Your lips are moving.
I need my family. Maybe I'm no good without my family. Maybe I need my family to make good.
You're not even a real father.
I missed you so much.
I missed you too, honey.
Finally, at the top of the lighthouse, we aim the light and the show can begin.
And now, ladies and gentlemen,
Vincenzo
the
is an
amazing
impressive showman,
Vincenzo's
with
Theater
Einstein's
of the
multiverse
Unreal.
theory and shadows being the main focus of his act.
Ladies and gentlemen, a physicist named Albert Einstein tells us that our universe may not be the only one. There may be infinite others, each slightly different from ours. But our dreams in our world may be reality in those. To citizens of these other worlds, we are shadows. This appears to you to be an ordinary box, but it is actually what we call a tesseract, or an octocoron. Suppose I open it, not in the 3 dimensions we live in, but along its 4th dimension. I can take out surprising things, things that are familiar and yet strange. But in this world of shadows, what seems familiar may be dangerous. What you don't know can hurt you. But what frightens you can also turn into something of surpassing beauty. Only understand it. Thank you. Thank you very much. Goodbye.
Once the show is over, we catch up to everyone, and Johnny is trying to convince Vincenzo to take Didi with him,
Puppet show, too.
as she'd be better off with him than Johnny.
Fix the pirate ship?
It was only a little broken.
See? She's almost as smart as you. Of course, she's brave, too.
What's that supposed to mean?
That you're rich, famous, and afraid of a little girl.
What would you have me do, Mr. Fenris? Take her on my world tour? Take her to Shanghai and Istanbul and those other filthy and dangerous cities as some sort of apprentice? Is that what you came here to propose?
Daddy, no!
I don't know, just...
Kat and Didi object,
deserves better.
and Vincenzo points out how hard Johnny worked to keep his family, even risking his own life.
I'm a walking calamity.
No, Daddy, we
You
need
risked
you.
your life to be with them.
Johnny, what did you do?
He nearly got himself killed to get you back. I wouldn't do that for anybody.
But I'm just gonna keep screwing up.
I can help you fix things.
Would you take me back? For good?
Oh, Johnny.
Kat takes Johnny back, and the family is reunited.
Would you like to see my workshop? Again?
Yeah,
I bet you get to Shanghai on your own steam.
but how?
Oh, you'll figure something out.
Then the twist. He shifts into our world and puts his hand on Didi's shoulder,
How'd you do
showing
that?
he's no longer a shadow.
John could do that.
It's been a long time, hasn't it? Thanks for taking care of Didi.
Now that was an ending I didn't expect, but this whole game was quite a brain twister. Even though it was quite short, about 3 to 4 hours, it was still full of fun puzzles that really made me think. and I loved the atmosphere created. A charming story told in a charming way. I enjoyed it, and I hope you did too. Thanks for watching.